Hello and welcome to the Bottom Up Skills Podcast. I'm Mike Parsons. I'm the CEO of Qualitance, and we continue our journey in getting unstuck. That's right, we are getting into product management and asking ourselves what are the toughest questions and what may be the answers of building, creating, and managing a product. And today, we are at the stage where we think about team. And the question for us today is, how do I recruit a product team? And I can tell you that it's not the easiest thing in the world. Even if you're quite well known for your product work, it actually still remains really hard. And I want to tell you the story of trying to recruit a team and my advice that after all these years, it's still a challenge for me. And I've got, I think, 3 steps is perhaps the best way to describe this on how you might build a team. Now, before we get into those steps, the real case I want to make to you is, I will talk a lot about the different skills that you need: design thinking, lean, agile, rapid prototyping, and all of that good stuff. You need to be able to do analysis, strategy, write code, design, use Adobe XD, use InVision, DevOps, Java, you name it. All of those are great skills to have. But really, the thing that creates the magic in the team is the culture. It's the way we talk and behave with each other. It's the vibe, it's how it feels to be together. And so because of that, I think it's really important to remind ourselves of starting with step number 1, which is the vision. So if you're going to recruit a team, you need to have a vision of the product that you want to build and why it matters. And if you need any help in framing your why statement, definitely go and read a guy called Simon Sinek, and it starts with why. Because people do not buy what you do, they buy how and why you do it. And so the big thing to start with, if you want to recruit a team, do not start with, we are using Angular and Java to build a great new application to process more data for users. That is not going to get people excited. You need to have a vision of how you're going to do it and why it matters. Why will this product matter in the world? You need to answer questions like, where is the value? Why would I give up a weekend to work on this product? What is the impact that this product is going to have? And this might sound a little lofty, but the real truth here is that it's all fine in good times and everyone can have the right skills. But when you hit those challenges, those barriers, the speed humps, said differently, when you reach the valley of darkness, when things are not going right, if your product team buys the vision of what they're fighting for, the positive impact that they're trying to have with this product, then they'll stick around. They'll go the extra mile. They will go above and beyond when they build the product. And they certainly just won't abandon you and quit, that's for sure. Vision first. This is step 1. You have to have a vision, the big picture of answering the question, why does this product matter? Because if you don't have that, then you're going to recruit people that at the first sign of hardship, they'll be gone because they're not fighting for anything. It's too hard. There's lots of jobs for product people out there. So yeah, you're toast. So you need to have a great articulation of your vision. And I think the way you get to vision, said differently, it's having a purpose, or said differently again, being able to answer the question, why does the product matter? So this is step number 1. If you want to recruit a team, start with vision and be able to talk about it and demonstrate this vision. Bring it to life. So this is number 1. The second step, and again, this isn't going to be the skills thing. This isn't going to be like you need to know Java or you need to know Figma. No. Step number 2 is to outline the behaviors that you want your team to have. Because I will tell you that, let's take Java, for example. Let's say your project needs Java developers, which a lot of projects do. The thing is, if your Java developers or even your designers, if they cannot do two things above all others, then it doesn't matter how good they are at their professional skill, because their behaviors are out of whack. The first skill is communication. People have to be able to communicate. And the second skill is collaboration, working together. Now, these two words are often bandied about, but really they are essential. So let's break them down and ask what they look like so you know how to actually grab and recruit the right people and ask the right questions when you're in the interview about how they communicate and collaborate. Okay, for me, the essence of communication is a couple of key things that you're looking for them to do. Number one, do they listen? Now, a lot of people just want to do the talking. They just want to be right. And actually, what you really want to hire for is people that love to listen so they can get a sense of what the person on the other side of the table is actually talking about. So listening is a critical communication skill. Secondly, you need to see them choosing the right model of communication. Is it verbal? Is it written? Is it a call? Is it a face-to-face? That they're choosing those channels right. And lastly, in terms of communication, and this one is the big dark secret of communication, that they confirm that they have been understood. So products are very complex and often very abstract in the beginning. So there's a lot of packet loss when people are communicating. People are not really getting it, or people are telling something, explaining the product in the way they perceive it, but they're not thinking about how the person on the other side needs to hear, understand, see, or witness the product. Now, when they're communicating, you can have a little checks and balances here by making sure the person understands what you've said. And the way you do that is ask them to tell it back to you. Tell me back what you just heard. And that's a really good way of making sure you've got the right people in your team. So those are the kind of things you want to see in good communicators. In good collaborators, I think that you want to see people who are unselfish, people who are quite empathetic to the people around them, and that love to build on ideas, not to shoot them down. You don't want people holding on to things, polishing them up, not sharing, and kind of working in silos. By default, you want collaborators, people who are prepared to share. They don't always have to be right, but they're really open to good feedback from their peers and from their colleagues. So, big vision, full of purpose and why, and then these two key behaviors, communication and collaboration, you really start to get a good team. And then step 3 is make sure they have the skills. Now, whether it is a designer, developer, new business, customer support, doesn't matter. The key thing here is make sure that you check that the vision doesn't have to be their life's mission, right? But they have to be engaged and compelled by the purpose behind the product or the company. And then they have to display some of these key behaviors and, of course, have the right skills. Now, if you make sure that when you're recruiting, you have the vision, the behaviors, and the skills, I'm absolutely sure that you're going to have a team that's full of potential. It can go out in the world and make great things. Now, talking about making great things, if you want to know more about that, making great products in the world, go to bottomup.io where you can get masterclasses on teamwork, managing people, you name it, everything you need to build a great product team. All right, that's it for the Bottom Up Skills podcast. That's a wrap.